We have team coverage on these protests, one at UConn, one at Yale, and we begin with Emma Wolfhorst, live in stores with the latest there. Emma.
Brent, Sarah, we've been out here for the past couple hours. We're told by students that they say about 23 people were arrested this morning. Now, that number has not yet been confirmed by the university or by UConn PD, but students are saying about 23 people were arrested for what they say was trespassing and disorderly conduct. We're here outside the UConn Police Department where we've seen these students coming out one by one. You can hear some honking and some cheering from the crowd here as people show their support one by one. About every 20 to 30 minutes for the past few hours, those who were arrested have been let out, and they've been welcomed by a crowd of supporters who want to show them that they're still out here and still standing in solidarity with them.
Disclose, divest.
On the fifth day of pro-Palestinian demonstrations at the University of Connecticut, police moving in and arrests being made.
Take one more.
UConn joined the growing list of campus protests across the U.S. last Thursday. These students calling for the school to disclose and divest, a want shared by most of these college demonstrations around the country.
The police would come in while students are sleeping, walk in between. They would take videos of them while they're sleeping, all for really the purpose of intimidating students. They gave one or two warnings that anyone who remains here is going to be handled by the administration. Beyond that, they just came in this morning and they sweep.
A university spokesperson says students violated large outdoor gathering guidelines by erecting tents and using amplified sound. The spokesperson says Tuesday morning, UConn police directed demonstrators 4 times to remove the tents and disperse. When that didn't happen, officers entered the site, removed tents and tarps, and arrested those who refused to comply.
It was totally peaceful protest, so as a teacher watching my students be arrested and pulled out of these tents was, I was worried for their safety.
Elias says the situation Tuesday morning was scary. Students arrested did not want to speak on camera, but faculty who spoke with them say the conditions they experienced while being detained Tuesday were awful.
Not being fed when they had been there for over 6 hours. They were talking about having to assert religious practice as a reason that they shouldn't have to go to the bathroom in front of each other. They also just talked about the deeply unclean state of the holding cell, which is a drunk tank with doo-doo on the floor.
But faculty tell me these students will not be deterred.
I do know that energy is still high. These kinds of crackdowns, I think, are not going to stop students from expressing their beliefs.
And the teachers I spoke with say they haven't heard anything yet from President Merrick, but they have reached out to her and to the greater administration asking for any charges against these students today to be dropped. They also want to avoid any sort of retaliation by the university, whether that's suspension or any other sort of academic consequences. They don't want any of that given to these students either. Now, we're not sure if these students plan to try and set up another encampment or continue demonstrations in any other sort of way, but these students say that their energy is still high. As you can hear, quite a big group back there still outside of UConn PD tonight, but we're not sure yet if they're going to move this demonstration anywhere else on campus after the rest of those students who were arrested are eventually let out. But obviously, UConn not the only college involved in these campus demonstrations across the country. Another one that escalated over the weekend that then saw involvement by law enforcement was Yale. Our Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has been covering the situation at New Haven for the past week and a half, and she's down there on Yale University now with more on what she's seeing today. Julia?
Hi, Emma. Good evening, too. Well, it sounds like it's a pretty different scene here at Yale in comparison to what's going on at UConn right now. If you take a look at cross campus behind us here, since the encampment was cleared out this morning, it has been very quiet here all day. There was some yellow police tape blocking the green off, but it's since been removed. And you can really just see students going about their day and some security officers watching over the green. Now, this is all because the protesters were told not to come back here but they tell us they do plan to mobilize at some point. Another early morning wake-up call for pro-Palestinian protesters at Yale University.
You cannot come back on campus till they are done cleaning up.
As Yale and New Haven police work together to clear up the tents and kick the students off the green at cross campus.
We're here to peacefully protest against the genocide, and this is Yale administration's response. It's appalling.
Law student Chisato Kimura says police gave them a 15-minute warning to move Tuesday morning.
They came and said if we didn't immediately leave cross campus, which is the green area, that we would be arrested and that we would be subject to emergency suspension.
This time, there were no arrests, but last Monday, nearly 50 people were taken away and charged after police kicked them out of Beinecke Plaza on campus.
Yale can't silence us. They can send the cops as many times as they want. They can do whatever they want. We will keep speaking out. We are going to keep mobilizing because we know that this is a very urgent situation.
Kimura calling this a militant response to their peaceful protests as they push the university to disclose and divest in weapons manufacturing, which they say contributes to the war in Gaza.
The New Haven Police Department made no arrests. This is now the third event in a week where, in two of which we had, thousands of people take the streets and block intersections, and we made no arrests.
New Haven officer Christian Bruckhardt says the department brought 30 men and women to assist university officers.
That was Yale. That's their property, that's their jurisdiction, and they made the determination that that's what they were going to do.
A move Kimura says won't be stopping them as they work to figure out their next steps.
We're now thinking about, okay, what's next? Because we're going to keep coming back. We're going to keep speaking out.
Now, the university's president sending a statement to the campus community last night saying, in part, quote, "We have long established restrictions on the time, place, and manner of protest to ensure that all members of our community have equitable access to the campus while still allowing for free expression and dissent." Now, the use of overnight encampments, flags, posters, banners, tents, and ropes to claim a campus space for one individual or group's viewpoint is, however, he says, detrimental to the free exchange of ideas. Now, as we come out back here live, once again, you can see that cross campus here is relatively empty in comparison to what it's been like over the last few days with the protesters sitting here and camping out here. Once again, they say they do plan to mobilize, but we don't know where exactly or when. We'll keep you updated. We're live here at Yale tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.